Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3 The Shadows of Change, where we have discovered that our homeland's great shrine to Ursun lies in ruins, that our homeland is beset by, ancestral homeland, I guess. Our homeland is westish. Has been beset by chaos warriors, just like things are going sideways all around over here. And the southern realms just aren't doing anything. They have no interest in helping, it seems like. We'll have to provide whatever support we can. It's not going to be very much. I wonder, could we wound this enemy hero? Probably not. Can I interfere with that enemy army? No, I can't even reach them. Well, you know what? Let's take a swing at wounding this hero. Shoot. I probably don't want to do that. I don't want to start shit before we've met the other Kislevite faction. Let's keep exploring. There should be another one. So there's Starina Katerin, the legendary lord of this faction, commanding level 22, couple legendary items, commanding a pretty large army here, including some hag witches. Maybe they'll be okay. Maybe she's in position to start cleaning things up. Destin Cold Eye shouldn't be able to reach us. Where exactly are we trying to make landfall, I guess, is a question. The islands all around Hag Hall make this kind of awkward, and obviously, like, the shoreline's quite rocky. Actually, I think we're going all the way back to Arnheim. I think that's the fastest. Yeah, that's a bummer. Unless we wanted to declare war on Nagaroth on our way in and hit the Twisted Glade, which I think is probably a bad idea. If you're going into a big land war, generally you want to try to open up one front at a time, is my understanding. Two front wars seem to go worse. History suggests. Let's get the control build up going here. And that building does have some extra growth on it. We still do need growth for Quintex. Y'all aren't going anywhere just yet.
Baron of the Motherland.
Y'all have been just kind of leveling up sitting here in this settlement. So the spell that Shadowcasters know by default is this speed down, damage over time, sort of modest damage over time spell. It's fine. As far as chief spells go, it's perfectly competent. Sergei has also leveled up, and we are taking Route Marcher 100% for sure. Most important thing.
A symbol of my unparalleled authority.
Yeah, you tell him. Unparalleled authority. He's talking like that now when Mom shows back up in a couple of turns here. My suspicion is we're going to hear a lot more deference. All right, go get him, Sarina. Well, she's doing something. She ran off the... We don't know what she's doing. She's certainly not fighting this army. Sorry about that. Clumsy, just punching the microphone as I try to adjust my headphones. So for the moment, it seems like the Heralds of Ariel just have no idea what is coming. I don't know what they're doing with their armies, because they're not at war with anybody. Somewhere they just have a couple of stacks sitting around, which is kind of a shame. You really like to attack somebody while they are distracted, preferably on the other side of their land. But we're going to have to fight the Heralds of Ariel more or less straight up if we want our magic forest. And I do want our magic forest. Okay, Festus the Leech Lord just kind of making everything worse, as adherents of the Chaos Gods are wont to do. Okay, payment's creeping up. Still, no thank you. We haven't seen a boat from the Dreadfleet in quite a long time. I don't even know. I guess maybe those elves are hoping that if they can convince me into a war declaration that I will go and wipe out the home base of the Dreadfleet for them, maybe? Alright, Festus the Leech Lord tried to go into ambush mode, but my hero being too close by thwarted that. Though Kislev stands as one in the eyes of the world, in truth the motherland is riddled with sedition. An avaricious boyar is the latest to show his hand, bribing dozens of atamans to reject your rule. Once your Akshina pay him a midnight call, the Ottomans abruptly regain their loyalty. Okay, big diplomatic relations boost with the Ice Court for the moment. Mission issued. At the end of your turn, have an income of 6,000 gold. Wow, weird. What a good time to receive that. So if we complete this, we'll get a banner that makes someone in our army immune to psychology. A speculum. You know, if you need, in case you needed a speculum. What a weird mission. Anyway.
Have the sight. Guide me, spirits.
So there, like, the other Kislevite faction is like, there's an internecine struggle going on over here between the two of them. Maybe they've already been united. Maybe there isn't another one to encounter. All right, 45 trending toward 100. Somehow that makes the trade agreement less likely to work. I have never understood the brains of the AI in these games. All right, it's fine. We'll just keep letting their regard for us climb upward further and further. We could totally catch up to Dastan Coldeye here.
Black-hearted dreadlord.
He is a black-hearted dreadlord. I think that is probably worth remembering. Where was... Okay, here it is. Here's the mysterious island I would like to hit on our way through. The question is just, do I think he's going to attack us? Because if he is, we should probably slow down so that we're not tired from all of the sailing. I don't really know how that works. Let's go ahead and slow down just in case. I'm not going to slow down so much that he can't reach us. If he wants to attack us, let's get it over with. But let's try to be, you know, as ready for it as we reasonably can be. Speaking of which, so what if I did something a little bit differently here? We can't do a blue and purple because we're missing the component that makes the blue and purple work. The blue and purple buff. 360-degree missile block with a significant increase in block chance. I believe 48 means 48%. That's really cool and actually might be very good against dark elves or against elves in general. What is this from? The Horned One trophy? So that's got to be a Lizardman thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, man, speed up and missile defense on like some spiders make them such good archer hunters. Gosh, we really need a red thing. Do we want to just build more copies of the things that we had built? I guess so. Yeah, it's fine.
A tough ingredient. This bugs joy.
It's kind of a weird blessing, but she's kind of a weird lady, frankly. You are continuing to wait. We certainly wouldn't want to do anything to lower our income right at this moment as we've gotten that quest. Let's pursue some of this. What if... Oh, this one doesn't affect the income of any of our trade buildings. That's a shame. But yeah, still do this for sure. And this next turn we'll be able to press the upgrade on the gold mine. It takes forever for stuff to level up in these unpleasant climbs. These less than optimal climbs. All right, your opinion on us is only going down. You can see what I was saying there. They are losing the memory of the things we did. The cool heroic things. All right, we have fully decorrupted this area. But, you know, there's only so much we can do for Tor Ivres, which is still covered in the scars of chaos magic. And out of curiosity, how do the lizards feel about us? Okay, their opinion is falling. They do not like it that we are friends with the Jade Court. They do not like that we are friends with the Exiles. I'm just saying, if we ended up rolling down here and punching up some lizard men to get that horned trophy, might be a good idea.
It is good to see you. Much has changed.
So we're trending slowly upward. We're not quite at non-aggression pact yet. You're at war with Hexawaddle. I don't think I want to join once we deal with these elves, you know, this is perhaps a thing worth considering. And I think we may want to like be pretty careful about what settlements we actually take from them. We could give a bunch of stuff to the exiles. I just want to make sure we control the Witchwood. I don't want to be on sort of like the outside of our amalgamation of armies, because I don't want to deal with, you know, the elf factions northward trying to declare war on us all the time. Let the exiles do that, and we can provide backup sometimes if necessary. But that way we can focus our eyes south on the beastmen. Beastmen? Lizardmen. Two different things. Hexawaddle is looking pretty powerful, though, which has me a little concerned. And they are the kind of faction that I think we're likely to do the worst against in actual battles, with their like relatively large unit number of lower damage but much higher toughness units. I think they'll do a good job of surviving our sort of like burst of aggression at the beginning of each battle, and then what? Then what do we have left? Alright, Norskins are just getting chased out. Dustin is in fact coming after us. It looks like we can just take casualties medium here. I think we will. This is an interesting army, but it would go, more or less, it would go a lot like the battles we've already seen. It's just a bunch of squishy elves. They do have some Blackguard, which are considerably better units, but they don't have enough of them to really turn the tide or anything.
Consume them in shadows.
Yeah, I'll take the money.
Kids left its bread and gold.
And we don't get a trinket for that, right? Huh, we found the Banner of Prague, blessed by the Grand Patriarch himself. Interesting. Oh no, that's because we finished that quest, didn't we? Yeah, that's why. Okay. Mother Estankia has become a seafarer by spending so many turns at sea, plus 5% campaign movement range. Fantastic. We did the goal, we got the banner. I was going to say, hey, this banner looks familiar, but yeah, it's because we just saw it on that mission description.
Crown's choice.
Is this friendly? Are we getting replenishment in these waters? Yes, this is a friendly region. Oh yeah, this is an Avalorn.
The world's oceans could not wash my hands clean.
I am going to get over here and get ready to grab that.
Who calls?
We can heal up here, and we can put a point into the capstone skill here, which gives us a significant upkeep reduction and some more movement range and some other stuff. Just generally really good.
Here goes the trinkets.
It's a shame that so much of the bonus recruitment rank stuff is so late in the tree, though, because it's hard to make use of it while you still have things to hire that you need to hire. Yeah, at this point, just like learning spells that somebody in the army already knows. You, on the other hand, still have things you can learn that are a little bit more unique. Also a level of magical reserves. You can never have enough instances of that in your army. I did not spend all of her points. So the Fate of Buna is just a good damage spell. It's very expensive, as you can see, but it does do a lot of damage to a single unit. And let's grab, sure, some charge bonus and enduring devotion. His charge bonus is starting to get pretty real. That's getting serious. Okay. Excellent timing on that. We got that point of population more or less right as we got the big influx of money from fighting Dest and Cold Eye that we needed to take advantage of the extra population. So that is for sure a Skaven stronghold. Look at all that corruption.
Julius awaits us.
Yeah, the other Kislevite faction might not exist. They have either been subsumed into this one, or they've been destroyed or something. Okay, your opinion of me is even more positive, and yet you are still being a problem about the trade agreements that we both know that you want. That both of us really want. Here, I think we can definitely afford to build a market square. Okay, Hag Hall is totally going to be under attack sometime in the next century or so. We're working on it. I mean, I want to grab that treasure and the treasure that's next to our settlement over there, and then we'll make landfall, and then, you know, one thing at a time. There's just a lot to do. Once we can get an alliance going with the Ice Court, then we can start using the rest of our unit tree, which will be interesting. I don't know how much I will actually change up the two existing armies, because I'm kind of getting used to fighting with the spider heavy comp, and I really do like these scary forest units. We'll see. There's probably some good high tier stuff, like those Ice Court or the Ice Guard units are very powerful.
An old woman.
You're just continuing to grab stuff here. All right, back into normal movement mode so we can interact with this. A mysterious island. You know what? At this point, the power of rage might be useful. So 10 turns of 25% physical resistance for the entire army. Pretty solid.
The salt on the sea wrecks appears like the ice of home.
Okay, we wanna stay just outside of the circle, because if you end your turn in the circle in full sail, you don't interact with the thing, and then to interact with it, you have to leave the circle and come back into it, which sucks. So let's not do that.
The sea is wealthy.
All right, various income structures, taking very expensive upgrades. So I think at this point we just want to use this hero then to harass any enemy that is attacking Sarina Katerin's stuff. We'll just like throw hero actions at them. That'll earn us a little bit of extra favor with Kislev, even if it doesn't actually accomplish very much. And I'm gonna remember to do my things.
Sympathy, my magic hand.
Okay. Did they win that battle? Wow. She rode out of Fort Ostrosk and just beat down those 3 stacks of skaven. I mean, she did. So they were sieging the settlement. So she will have had the settlement's garrison at her back. So really, it's probably pretty close to 2 stacks against 3. But good for her. Good for her in winning that battle where they had 50% more total units than her, and probably in terms of actual bodies, much closer to 100% more bodies. Because a lot of Skaven units sure do have a lot of figures in them. I was a little worried there. I was like, uh-oh, are we witnessing the beginning of the end for her? But no, she seems to be holding on just fine. Hey, what a surprise. They want that same thing they always want. Alright, Hexawatl has awakened a new Slan Mage Priest, which is very whatever. The World Walkers have confederated one of the smaller Norscan tribes. Not really all that interesting. Trace is about to have a rebellion. We should do something about that. Probably stop collecting the income from there. That'll give our control a chance to recover a little bit. But we also need to upgrade and build control granting structures. This does not grant any control. Yeah, I guess we'll need a roadhouse in each of the little settlement areas. We don't want to build a roadhouse here. We want to just build money-making structures. Yeah. All right. Well, in 2 turns, we'll have another point of control in here, but we're real close to something going sideways there. That's very annoying.
It's like that. It is so. Watch for Norscans and pirates.
Okay. The seabed is littered with the barnacle-clad hulls of ships that once set out to tame the oceans. Recently, rumors started circulating that one particularly notable wreckage had been spotted. A partially sunken ship that was rumored to have been sailing back to Marienburg with a hold full of mysterious trinkets looted from across the old world before suffering Stromfell's ire. You know its location, but there's always the chance that others have caught wind of these rumors too. I would love a great hoard of treasure, and I will absolutely kill anyone for a great hoard of treasure. This is not even an art. This is like what are you doing? What are you doing, Charlie King?
They will be better dead. I cannot kill those with their
We have as many units of terrifying spiders as they have units in their whole damn army. Terrible decision making. They should have just gotten out of the way. Okay.
Kislev's timber carries.
Mother Ostankia is on the way. We will be here soon. Arnheim gets to level up thanks to all of that money.
Resentment grows.
Ooh, White Peak is having some problems too. Shoot. Well, that's really annoying. So obviously, if you uncheck collect income, it gives 4 extra control per turn in the settlement, but it does obviously. You know what? Okay, we might. Did we have? Yeah, we can change our commandment here. All right. I don't love purge the steps. I don't love the implication of the word purge there, but it's better than losing all of our money. Yeah, negative 93. That's pretty bad. I know I left the other region with the box unchecked. That is on purpose. I am definitely letting that region just recover. So, okay, I think we're just actually ending the turn with 3,000 gold in the bank. We'll get there. We'll figure out something to do with it. Let's harass our enemies. Try to steal technology from Hellpit. So stealing technology doesn't actually reduce the amount of technology the enemy has in any way, but it does increase your own research rate.
Get wisdom and all else.
And it's one of the easier hero actions. You can see we get a 50-50 on that.
Spirits.
All right. Even when she fails at stuff, she gets some XP.
They speak to me.
Improving steal technology just increases the value of winning. It doesn't make it any less or any more likely. Let's learn how to wound enemy characters. I think that's going to be useful out here.
Protector.
Oh right, and Mother Ostankia has points. Yeah, let's learn Lightning Strike
The
now.
power of a witch is in her charms.
We are allowed to build an outpost. Okay. We can construct these outposts, but they're like pretty bad. I don't know that I want to bother. I guess over time you can level them up. And once they're leveled up sufficiently, I guess let's do it here. Once they're leveled up sufficiently, they let you hire from anywhere in the opponent's or anywhere in your allies' country, not just the place you built the outpost. I suppose we have the little bit of money to go ahead and do that now. But I'm thinking either next turn or the turn after is when we do the rest of the recruitment. And we just push north and try to ambush these elves, try to catch them off guard before they realize what's happening. So Tsarina Katerin is rebuilding her army after losing a bunch of troops in battle against 10,000 skaven. The problem with the skaven is you can kill 3 stacks of them, and 2 turns later there's going to be another 3 stacks of them at your door. They are numerous and unrelenting. There's not too much we can do for her in terms of material support, unfortunately. Just kind of have to harass them a little bit with the hero that we sent there. What the hell is the Green Knight doing over here? One of Couronne, the Bretonnian faction's most powerful combat units. A self-proclaimed truth speaker has been touring the stanitsas, spreading a message of faithlessness. The blasphemer seduces our citizens into believing that the great orthodoxy is merely a political construct. Clearly, nothing could be further from the truth, but we must act. Yeah, you know what? The Akshina can resolve this directly. Just to handle it. Just pay somebody to handle it, please. Okay, the Bone Rattlers have done that's a whole orc. We're not even going to talk about orc mechanics right now.
Warding Kislev from chaos.
I might want to have her creep up a little bit more quietly. I think it would be best if the elves of Hag Hall did not realize what was happening. She is on the open road, and so they might catch her, but let's upgrade this and not really a lot else to upgrade. So we could turn income back on over here. I want to let this recover a little bit. You can see we're paying a pretty significant growth penalty for control being this low. The lower your control is, the more like free control points you get, and the higher your control is, the more you get, the more like automatic control penalties you get. It's always trying to trend towards 0, and then you sort of like build around trying to keep it to one side.
The right to rule.
All right. Next turn is when we do the hiring, probably. You can attempt that again. Hooray! When you succeed, you definitely get more XP, so that's nice. Also, our technology was taking a long time to figure out. Okay, corruption -2 in the local province. She is being a problem for their corruption, which is fun. Let's pick up some points of specialist, just like getting better at map actions in a general sense. All right, how are we doing with you diplomatically at this point? 81 points, trending toward 104. You can see their hero actions against Clan Molder giving us 1 point. Still being extremely difficult with the diplomatic stuff. I don't know why. It is not clear exactly what it is that they care about. In terms of, you know, making it more likely for you to actually be able to negotiate treaties. Because as you can see there, it's certainly not that relationship number. That number went from 30-something to 80-something without their desire to make trade treaties with us changing even a little bit. We'll have an awful lot of money at the beginning of this turn. We might want to just try to buy our way into the trade treaty, because that'll pay itself off over time, whatever amount of money they want from us. So yeah, yet more skaven running around. I really wish that we had a quick way of getting an army over there, some kind of, you know, teleportation or whatever. Okay, the elves of Tirnoch have been destroyed. What happened to them? Did they get wiped out by... Oh, it's just elf war stuff. They were at war with other elves. Huh, the Dimmed Sons. The orcs are coming. Not the sophisticated bunch that hangs out in captured dwarfholds, but the more rural boys that wander the southern Badlands. A set of orcs has spawned. Orcs in the red area? No, orcs give teeth. They must. Okay, so weapon strength teeth. Probably generally more useful teeth than the ones we have now. Yeah, that's interesting.
I do these terrible things from love for Kislev, you know.
All right, Mother Estankia trying very hard to rationalize her actions to herself. Let's pick up... I guess I should probably be focusing on weapon damage over here for the same reason that that tooth is better than the other one. Could we attack if we got into movement mode? No. Okay, so let's stay in ambush stance. Okay, so there we go. All of their armies, they have 2 armies, and they're both just sitting in the Witchwood, trying to prevent people from being able to take the Witchwood away. That's really annoying, because that's the only thing they have that we care about.
Never yield.
Step outside here. Okay, your ambush stance works the normal way. You will also get into the trees.
My rule spread.
Try to be clever, and we'll make our, you can see the ambush chance heighten as he got into better terrain.
Boundless.
All right, so next turn we're doing the big hire, which means this turn we can use our money for political bribes. Critically important political bribes.
They will miss this. Kislev suffers.
All right, probably the last of those that we're going to do for the moment.
Daughter.
Can you try to injure this Doom Engineer? Prevent him from doing a Doom. The Doom Engineer is a special kind of hero that like sacrifices himself to fire up an earthquake machine that damages all the buildings in the settlement and levels them down. There we go. We only wounded him, so he'll be back on the map in 5 turns, but that'll help this arena quite a bit. Let's take another point of specialists, since we are not high enough level for the second point of wound yet. And then, hey. Okay, we're starting to see some positivity here. I would also like the non-aggression pact, and I am willing to pay something for it. Yeah, that's not unreasonable.
You honor the crown.
Okay, so from here to get a defensive alliance, we're talking about work, but now their opinion of us is trending toward 125. Hopefully when it gets up there, it will actually be easier to do the thing.
What use is a dead god?
And yeah, get ready for the bloodshed. Here comes the bloodshed. Is Katerin going to be able to take over Hell Pit? No, she decided not to. She might not have had vision of Hell Pit. You know, Skaven settlements are sometimes not so obvious. I am not going to do this. Hell Pit is that Skaven faction's capital. I would expect that it is probably very built up with a real garrison. So, yeah, she's going to need to bring more than that army to take it down for sure. We got more chaos forces like just north of the mountains. This is a miserable place to be. You are beset by horrifying enemies of all different kinds all of the time. But at least the weather's nice. All right, please do not. Okay. I was going to say, I really hope that they don't kill themselves on one of the cities before we get to do something about them. Looks like our ambushes were seen through. That's fine. Battle is a blood-soaked affair. Base weapon damage up by 20 points for all units in all armies of all factions. Okay. That's something that's definitely better for, like, a Skaven army than it is for us.
No higher authority. I reject any who crave.
All right. All of the special pieces are in. Let's go earn some stuff. First of all, you're not at war with anybody yet. Let's solve that. Killing some orcs is going to earn us a new trinket.
Highborn son.
He can probably just handle this on his own. But you know what? Let's send Mother Astankia in there to provide a little backup.
No place for a noble.
There's no reason not to include all of our troops, right?
Face my ire.
I assume he will try to run. Will we have the movement to chase?
Call me
She will.
witch.
You can still get close enough to
This land
at least show up as reinforcements.
Process
We're gonna massively overpower this. to minimize casualties as much as possible. So this army is kind of weird. It's mostly archers. And orc archers in particular have very poor accuracy. They have very poor missile strength. Not a lot of the damage is armor piercing, and they almost always miss. So they're really more useful as just like a way of reducing enemy leadership, which in greenskin versus greenskin combat is quite significant because a lot of greenskin units have really poor leadership, especially like goblins. If you just fire arrows in the direction of goblins, they will often panic and run, even if none of them take any damage. Not going to do so well against us, obviously. They do have some big, hard-hitting, scarier units, things that are actually good against our spiders, but not enough to turn the tide,
Kill
certainly.
for Kislev.
56 losses. These things happen. Yeah, we'll ransom the survivors back. And that's a new trinket. Huzzah. More trinkets is more good.
My hexes.
And the last point of lightning strike, which it looks like we
Is
might
always
need.
appreciated.
Okay, so they do have a third army sort of wandering, but it's much weaker. Yeah, with this we can take on the Sisters of Twilight army one to one, and I think that should be helpful.
Baron of the
Don't have the movement left to harm them, so we're not going to declare war this turn. What does heroic resilience do? 14 defense and 8 leadership for yourself if you are under 50% HP. Yeah, okay. And then do we want to blue line him as well? I don't think we need to. I think our expenses are well in hand. I kind of want to push the red line for him. Let's get the upgrades for our basic units. Obviously, we can't upgrade the spiders, but we can upgrade other stuff in the army. And we may end up replacing the spiders for him because we probably want stuff that's going to benefit from his red line. You should get your smoke and mirrors, so every time she casts a spell, the whole army gets plus 10% speed for 24 seconds. And we can get some pretty fun stuff here. Obviously, we know about the Withering, the Enfeebling Foe. It's very good. The Penumbral Pendulum is also a very powerful damage spell. Gosh, I think I want that. There's a lot of good stuff available, though. The Lesser Hags are pulling skill points. That's a mean way to describe the Lesser Hag. You know what I mean. The other ones, the Daughter Hags. Okay, so next turn we'll hit like Hag Hall and Val's Anvil simultaneously.
Never doubt the
Just like try to
boiler
break
of
their
Kislev.
economy as much as we can. Alright, you can... What do you do to armies? Ah, that's right. You hit them with the curse mark. I can't even attempt it. Well, then I guess just continue to build XP by... Oh, right. You can't attempt it because after you successfully wound an enemy hero, you suffer a turn of exhaustion. Well, then I guess just hang out. Don't really have a lot of other pressing stuff to do. Definitely want to get that maxed out. Avathir has room for more upgrades. Do I want to be running a Hallowed Wood here? I think I'm going to break this down and build a control building instead. Because even with Purge the Steps, we're actually like only very slightly positive. It's making me nervous. All right, so now that we have a different blue thing, and we have 5 of each of these, I probably do want to just like vary up the way I'm doing this. So the Wraith Sight gives damage resistance to a unit. This is much more of a like thing you put on a unit that's charging into battle. So we can also give them physical resist or like charge bonus. Yeah, it's the plus range really doesn't play well with most of this stuff. It's really a shame. And keep in mind, stuff like this, weapon damage always refers to the damage you do in melee. Ranged damage is called missile damage, so it is not affected by these changes. Also, same thing here. Leadership up is like pretty whatever. Yeah, I guess like physical resistance is just like a good general thing to put on our blessings, any kind of blessing really. And then that leaves us with yellow, blue, green, purple. So melee defense down in rampage, and then also also reduce their armor piercing damage. Like, that's not a terrible curse. Yeah, we can do a couple of those. We almost have enough trinkets to do another thing. I definitely think I would rather produce a smaller number of very powerful curses than a larger number of like two ingredient ones. And not just for spirit essence reasons, but that certainly does factor in as well. Okay, she burned the elves. She burned the skaven out of Prague. That's good for her. She didn't actually take it over afterward, though, which she should have. I will never understand why the AI does so much sacking and leaving the settlements under the control of their enemies. It's very weird. Okay, we can see that the we can see the Khemri are doing an excellent job beating up these other elves. Which means that the elves of the heralds are cut off from their only ally. It's a good time to step on them. As good a time as we're likely to get. And we probably don't have to worry about helping out with this stuff or giving the exiles land so that they will shield us from further combat, because they've like sort of carved off an area north of us. They've done all the work for us. Oh, cool. More chaos demons. If we keep our map agent over there working every turn, hopefully we can turn her into a formidable enough and dangerous enough element in the area that she can really help the Ice Court hold off all of those enemies. We're in a situation here where dogma is still not actually meaningful, but rationality does matter a little bit, so we're going to take that one. Marienburg has been confederated by the Reich. That's interesting. That means Reichland owns a lot of territory out here, doesn't it? Well, it looks like Marienburg lost a bunch of that stuff before they accepted confederation, which makes sense. Can we negotiate with... Hell yeah. Okay, they have a trade agreement going with Kislev proper. This should be in our favor to do in the long term, the long diplomatic term. Okay. New friends. More friends is more good. Can Sergei hit Val's anvil? I think I would rather have them reverse so that Mother Estanka is the one who's closer to the actual enemy force.
Sand or snow, all man's endeavors.
Right, you are going to continue learning this penumbral pendulum. And are you at war with anyone? You are not. So nobody's going to want to buy me into this conflict. We will simply declare.
Spirits, I see.
Yep, sorry, your stuff is mine now. Oh, I forgot we had a quest about this.
Do not disappoint us, Dankia. Troops.
Alright, so we'll just occupy their little stuff here. Plus 16 turns of plus 10 leadership when fighting wood elves for all of our armies. That's fun. We got some more followers who we don't really need to worry about. You should have just as easy a time claiming this one. Got ourselves a Scarecrow banner, which reduces the leadership of nearby flying units. Not really a significant enemy type in most of the armies we've fought so far, but this particular Wood Elf faction does have access to like
All taxpayers. Excellent.
I think they might all have access to Eagle Riders, but I know this faction has more incentives to use them. Okay, so I think we're going to start with the firing drills. This will buff up the Akshina. A little bit of melee defense and a reload time reduction, which directly increases their damage output. I do so love more ranged damage. Also, more spell damage. More damage in general. Just kind of, you know, I am broadly pro damage dealing.
Gullible fools!
Okay, so now that we have Lightning Strike, we have a bit of a question here. I think we probably want to pick up the rest of her spells, especially stuff like the Enfeebling Foe, because she has, where is it? You know, she has that thing about the debuffs and whatnot. What is it that causes her debuffs to be really good? Was it Folklore? Okay, it was Berserker's Wrath. Yeah, the Enfeebling Foe is going to be fantastic when she casts it. Belinda has become immortal, which is grand. It's really wonderful news. You're going to keep picking up spells as well. A little bit of the old Doom and Darkness. Help encourage enemies to do the right thing and leave the battlefield. Our friend here also hit max. Okay, so we get one of these skills. Obviously, it's compelling to pick ones that are related to abilities that we actually have. Cooldown reduction on Daz's Song of Winter Sunlight, which we did not take. Thunderous Orator is the one that lowers the cooldown on the Battle Hymn, while it also causing the character to project more leadership over a larger area. It's not so exciting. We do have Ursun's Roar, because everybody has Ursun's Roar. This would give him Frenzy, which is certainly compelling. Or Harsh Survivor, which lowers attrition for the entire army. I'm going to take Bearcan, actually. I like him getting Frenzy. I think that's quite good. That makes him way more interesting as a combat unit. All right, and what did we take over here?
Witch?
Hag Hall has grazing pastures, which give growth and improve the function of our farms, and also money. Seems like a fine first building to pick up. Do we want to pick up a growth building here too? We probably want to try to build this place out pretty quickly. And honestly, we could be thinking about a third army. Let's put together Harbor Watch. Try to get this bonus established, because we actually have we have enough income that I think we could build a third army, and it might be helpful here. So the Witchwood itself has a 12-unit garrison. They have a 20-unit garrison, or a 20-unit army parked inside of it. Mostly Glade Guards, so pretty good archers. You can see 29 attack, 31 defense. Pretty solid melee stats for an archer unit. And then War Dancers with spears. Spear units tend to have really good melee defense, and then also some amount of bonus versus large, usually a pretty big amount, depending on precisely what kind of polearm they have. So these units are actually kind of dangerous to us. The spider strategy is not necessarily optimal against such a force. We are very unlikely to wound that hero out. Let's harass this army.
In the water, and sleep is denied.
Okay, we tried. So now that the ancient city of Quintex has a couple more slots open, we have all of the money-making... Oh, we don't have all the money-making stuff. But also, this is a place where we can start building recruitment structures. Get ourselves the ability to put together an army on the southern front. Avathir should definitely level things up. Avathir probably doesn't need a defensive structure. It's unlikely to be a place that gets attacked. You know what we'll do? We'll build a control thing, because this province is, still miserable. That's right. I opened up that slot for that reason. I totally forget what my plans were for various places between rounds. Yeah, see, without the commandment, it's very difficult for us to adjust control in Kathik. But we'll keep an eye on it. Might want to leave this turned off for a little while longer. We can probably reinstitute taxation, I guess.
I am the heir of an area.
Okay, we are now allowed to ask for a defensive alliance with you. I wonder why we weren't before.
As you say.
I do think it's a thing we should do. And then we should go to
If what you seek is for the greater
the war coordination chart with you and see about outposts. Okay, so the Tower of Lycian would give us access to a ton of interesting units, including the Flamespire Phoenix and some of their fancy elf, the good magic archers. Looks like all of that stuff is available from all of these places. Maybe they changed the way the outpost recruitment works. Well, the Shrine of Asturion is unlikely to change hands, so it seems like a fine place to do it. The shrine is this one on this little island all the way on the inside of the situation. It's fairly well protected. All right, and with that, let's see how the Heralds of Ariel respond to our sudden treachery. I'm going to make sure that we are pursuing technology theft with our agent, because I want to get this research done a little bit faster. 9 turns is very, very long. Oh, hey, the Dreadfleet. They're finally back on the offense. Yeah, the problem with the Dreadfleet is that their base is in the middle of nowhere, so it's usually like people defeat their armies and then don't go after their economy or their capability to build in any meaningful way, and they just like back off for a while and rebuild and come at you again. Although I will say I would have expected them to do so earlier than this. It may well be the case that they have been harassing people in the southern continents or something since last we saw them. So what I would really love is to try to get a defensive alliance going with Kislev if we can. Before we start putting this third army together, so that when we're doing that recruitment, we have access to the full roster of units. And we can think a little bit more about like how we would like to construct that force. Part of the problem here is that the defensive alliance doesn't have a lot of immediate value for them because of the fact that we're so far away. Oh, interesting. The Sisters of Twilight actually took that opportunity to ride away from the Witchwood. I wonder if they think they're going to sneak up on the Boyar or something, maybe? This could be a really good opportunity for us, maybe. Depending on whether or not they see us doing the defensive maneuvers. Because obviously, if we just approach the Witchwood now, they'll just run back. Okay, Hawkland has been defeated. That's a shame. Raid the Witchwood. We'll see. So they're using the world routes, which allows them to travel underground. Oh, wait. No, we don't have to see what they're doing and try to prevent them from getting back. We can prevent them from being able to move.
My hexes.
Before we do this, let me just do the Natalia thing before I forget. Natalia, if you could please steal some tech.
No one suspects an old lady. Even at my age, I can
Okay,
learn.
that only took 1 turn off the technology, but still, that's fine. That's good. Oh, get better at wounding stuff. That's definitely one of the better bits of utility she can have for us.
Big milk.
Okay, so Sisters of Twilight.
I say no.
We did get the upgrade, right? It doesn't say on it that it's upgraded. Yeah, unlocks the Empowered Coven's Curse Mark. I don't have to do anything to further empower it, do I? Oh, I do. Okay. And it costs way more. That's fair. It fucking should. Oh, but it only works on enemies in my territory. Okay. Still, very, very powerful. Okay, so
Lord of all.
The thing is, if they take Val's anvil back,
But not.
then they won't be in my territory. They'll be in their territory. So I have to figure out a way of... Oh, they're just on the other side of that line, too. I had to figure out a way of approaching the Witchwood, since we can't get there in one turn, that doesn't cause them to panic and just run back home. And there aren't really that many forested places to stand here. Like, obviously, we can ambush mode and walk up the pass, but we're not going to get terribly strong ambush success chances anywhere in here.
Must make use of this.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be 75% everywhere.
Strong belief, strong emotion. Very
Let's just move up to like here. We'll stay on our side of the territory line. This should be enough that we'll be able to make the travel next turn. And if they see through the ambush and attack us and we hit retreat, we should be able to get out of their movement range.
Of course, it has been a very, very long.
What we're seeing here is the movement range of the use world roots mode, which doesn't allow them to initiate combat anyway, so they can't move directly onto a city with it. We don't know what their normal run range is, but my guess is they probably can reach Val's Anvil.
Kislev's chosen.
What I might want to do here is just have
In my
Sergei move to Hag Hall.
of chaos
If we can bait the sisters forward,
is what I do for Kislev.
I think that's probably a good thing.
This is my province.
Even if it does mean that we don't get to Coven's Curse Mark them.
Of my cold
I still think it's very powerful, even with the restriction as we now understand it. It's very, very good. Before we go spending any money...
Like the motherland, our French.
Okay, we're only -5 on the defensive alliance. Sadly, not enough. What if I were to declare war on some of your enemies? Yeah, we're not getting a lot of bonus out of that because we're not a real threat to these enemies, and they know that. Oh, they would fucking love it if we did this. They would absolutely take that defensive alliance. Do I want to get military access to? Probably not. I'd probably rather just get paid out here.
Kislevites must stand.
They'll give us the military alliance for free at some point. You know, as we get more treaties here and the number continues to go up, at some point they will give us military alliance. Or military, or I guess actually defensive. It's not even on the thing anymore. So the defensive treaty contains the military access pact. That makes sense. It would be hard to help defend their lands if your troops weren't allowed to walk around in them. And now that we have an alliance with this force, we can build some of their structures. Get the ability to have cannons and stuff. And I think that's probably a pretty fucking good idea. Ice training fields, unlocking the ability to build Ice Guard. Yeah. Ice Guard are such a pain in the ass to fight that I am definitely eager to have them as units. And we can build an outpost somewhere in their land. It seems like all of the outpost locations get us total garbage units. I mean, in the capital would seem to be a pretty good idea. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. That seems big. That seems important. I was about to say, do we want to make any other like changes? But we don't really have a lot of money, do we? So like in terms of recruitment structures, what have we unlocked? Basic military buildings, the buildings that build the armored Kossars and the Streltsy only go up to tier 3. So you could install them in a lesser settlement, a 3-slot settlement without losing anything really. This region probably doesn't need a pair of taverns. Also, we could unlock more cavalry, like winged lancers and stuff. Winged lancers are fine. They're very reliant on that very high charge bonus, as you can see from their stats. I'm not like super excited about them. I don't know how much we need Streltsy. So like an Akshina ambusher has 23 missile strength with most of it, about like 2/3 of it, well, 60%, armor piercing. Gun units tend to be very armor piercing, of course. But their amount of armor piercing damage is very similar. There are 68 of them in a unit. But they are direct line of sight weapons, whereas the Streltsy can fire over stuff in a way that's like super helpful. 150 range to 140. Yeah, I don't know that I want the barracks building at all. I think I'd rather, if we're talking about building infantry, I'd rather just build like Tsarguard. And then that'll give us access to a Griffin Legion as well. So that's the thing, we don't get access to the Griffin Legion. If we build it in a minor settlement, it'll be capped here. I might demolish this trade quorum to make room for more. To make room for more buildings that make good units. Do we want to demolish anything else? We could make room in other structures, in other settlements, so that we are at least adding stuff to the global recruitment pool. I think this will do for now. So wait, did I decide I wanted a basic military building? Probably not. I don't think I want Kosovite. Yeah, the only basic military building we want is the one we're going to build in Arnheim. Okay. We could build some decent military structures in Tor Anrock as well, but, you know. Hag Hall would probably be a better target in the long run. Anyway. Let's see how the sisters respond to our movements here. So we'll start putting together that third army when we're a little closer to the finishing of this technology, and when those buildings have had the time to be upgraded a little bit. And we might give it a more classical Kislevite structure. I don't know. Even without a lot of buffs to give them, I still do really like the spiders. The spiders are keeping the spiders around is probably better than going to our more classical light cavalry. But I don't know what else we'll do. One thing I can say for the Kislevite light cavalry over the spiders is that I think the Kislevite light cavalry is like really, really fast, like 90 or 100 speed. So they do beat the spiders in that way. Count Noctilus is back in some force. Not my problem. Cannot be my problem at this moment. I am far too busy. So Azhag the Slaughterer seems to be in pretty high spirits. Guess we have to hope he just doesn't turn his gaze northward. Alright, and what are we getting here? They have seen through my ambush. Interestingly, I was planning on doing that back out thing, but if we take the battle here, we do just win it without even needing to resort to trickery, and we're standing on our own territory. So we will win this battle, and then we will get a pulse of replenishment at the beginning of the turn. I'm going to take it. I know it says Pyrrhic victory, but it also only says medium casualties, so yeah, that wasn't so bad at all. How much replenishment do we get from Salyak Provides here? Very little. But also, we don't get a lot of money. We're taking the small amount of replenishment, I guess. And the sisters did indeed go for Val's Anvil, so The Witchwood is now just open. Okay, well, free magic forest. We're going to have to deal with the Sisters of Twilight, obviously, and they're going to have some feelings about the thing we've just done. But, yeah, I think that was a pretty big error on the part of that faction. The thing about Mother Estanque is she's terrifying, and you should not attack her. That's what I think. Somebody should really do something about all those Norskins, and unfortunately it's probably gonna... It really can't be me, right? The wild hunt begins. Orion, king in the woods, master of the wild hunt, is reborn anew. On the eve of the vernal equinox, the elite wild riders select a candidate to bear the mantle of the immortal elven king for the year ahead. Now that Queen Ariel has done her secret work, Orion storms back into the world once more. As ever, he immediately calls a wild hunt to clear the forest of undesirable outsiders. The herald of the hunt sounds the horn, signaling the elves and forest spirits to fight in Athaloran's defense, a primal urge to expel the forest's enemies that none can ignore. The word defense is being used very loosely here. Orion is now more aggressive. Okay. Our ambush was foiled. It sure was. We killed some wood elves. We earned yet another veteran warrior. We did lose Val's Anvil. That's fine. We have a mission issued to defeat Throth the Unclean in battle. I don't think that's going to happen. He's on the other side of the planet.
Gullible fools!
And yeah, you can see that replenishment was quite helpful. So
Witch?
let's grab some more stuff. What do we need here? Let's finish Enfeebling Foe. Occam's Mind Razor is sadly a buff spell rather than a debuffing spell. I mean, we should learn it, but we're probably not going to use it.
I suppose these would be useful.
You are still picking up spells. Let's grab Curse of Anraher. Again, not that I think we're terribly likely to cast it. You can work toward this. Actually, you know what? Let's finish off Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech is a good, very efficient way of dealing damage to like a single figure unit, like a lord or something. Definitely worth having.
Cowards! Say less, do more.
Okay, so that army is all leveled up.
This is mine.
Sergei's army is just gaining XP for just being alive still at this point.
I have better things to do.
So yeah, the sisters have some of those Hawk Riders. Flying missile cavalry, pretty scary stuff actually. They're definitely dangerous. Wildwood Rangers, so they definitely have like a higher class of elf unit here. The Sisters of Twilight themselves are pretty scary, riding a forest dragon. They have some Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn, so these sort of stag cavalry units. Some Treekin, which are fine. They're sort of like tier 2, just like big punchy monster infantry. I'm honestly not that afraid of that army. They have left like no defenses for the Witchwood, so this is mine.
Good, for it gives us power.
They should probably not have let me do this.
Teach them blood and futility. We shall raid and watchtower.
All right, even more veteran warriors, even more speculums for some reason. Mother Estanque, constantly on the offense, has become an assault expert. Her own melee attack up, leadership up when attacking for the whole army. We continue to attract followers of all kinds. It's true, we did not raid the Witchwood.
Heed my hexes.
Okay, all we did was reduce it to tier 4 when we took it. But none of their buildings are the same as our buildings, so we didn't get to keep anything. Yeah, that's really interesting. What do I want to do? I probably want to put up a defensive structure. Like, I don't know who would ever get to us, though. Like, we're going to deal with the sisters here and now, and then we're sort of like wrapped in our closest ally, a person who is only going to like us more and more as time goes on, because they consider the degree to which we are a strategic threat to be a positive thing. Yeah, I don't know that we need defenses here. Let's make the money-making buildings. May as well do that. And then we could get some recruitment going here if we want some distance recruitment of stuff. We could certainly start, you know, the animal hollow. Yeah, may as well. And then, like, I don't think we do need defenses. But maybe control structures? I guess I'd rather have the growth over... This one gives me more patriarchs, I suppose. And it provides a patriarch to the garrison, which is kind of... Yeah, alright, we'll install one of your stupid shrines. It's kind of interesting that the Witchwood doesn't have a special landmark building for us, but whatever. It's fine. Let's take the last point in the Mind Razor. We spend a lot of time looking at these upgrade screens. Alright, now we will try to finish that off. You are only getting more and more powerful. Okay, so these are their last two settlements. They are basically out of gas.
The right to rule.
There's not really anywhere within the range of the city for me to set up an ambush. The forest has really been cleared back in a way that's kind of a bummer here. What I'm thinking is that maybe we should back off here. Maybe we should siege this. If she wants to take Hag Hall, what I'm thinking is
Let no man falter.
we can let her grab it. Once they're in Hag Hall, they can't retreat if they're attacked.
To the throne.
So we keep Sergei nearby, but in a place where they probably won't see him until they attack Hag Hall. And then Mother Estankia can march mode into reinforcement position, and we can take them on with superior numbers. And I guess we'll go ahead and start this, even though I don't necessarily expect this to still be mine at the end of the turn, because it's not very expensive. If they decide not to attack it, you know, we'll be glad we did that. And yeah, you're not terribly likely to land any of this stuff. We don't actually get anything out of stealing technology repeatedly, but it's the action that's more likely to succeed, and successes are worth more XP. Okay, down here, we definitely pursue those upgrades. Over here, yeah, we should definitely upgrade the building that gives bonus control. Very important stuff. My guess is we're probably fine on control here. But I might want to put us in Purge the Steps mode just in case the sisters come back. Yeah, let's have it in this mode for the moment. We'll see what they do.
Bring me kvass.
And then we were doing something. So we've picked up the Bark of Ages, which can give Vanguard deployment to units. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know that it changes my plans too much.
A tough ingredient.
We're gonna make 5 of these things again. Minus 15% speed on the enemy unit is maybe more sensible than the other debuffs we're able to give them. I'm not allowed to use 2 yellows.
Joy.
I think I would rather have -8 leadership. I was thinking I would like this as a 3rd ingredient, but right, it's the color of one of the main ingredients. And then, yeah, minus spell resistance because it is doing magic damage. I think the other one I made, I might not have built the correct... Whatever, it's fine. And when we finish this, we do have the magic to grab Toil and Trouble. Do I want to pause what we're doing for a turn and grab Toil and Trouble now? I don't know. I really want this tech to finish.
My authority is bound.
It is a pretty important one, right? We'll get the other thing. We will. So, wait, were those vampires? Did I see the vampire sigil up there? For some reason, the Ice Court is running a hero unit down through the Empire lands. Oh, Noctilus is on the run. It's nice to see the elves coordinating a little bit, like Tyrion moving up, or that army controlled by Tyrion moving up into reinforcement position, even though they couldn't attack because they knew Ivres was going to be able to attack. They wanted to be able to provide the troops. Yeah, good work. Good repulsion of the Dread Fleet. I do not need to show up and help you out at all, which is great because I wasn't going to. I probably couldn't, but also I wasn't going to. So yeah, it's nice to see our allies being competent. Yep, it's just a vampire agent, not a vampire army. I thought for a second there that they were running an army that far north, and I was like, what the hell is going on in Vampire Town that seems like a good idea? Okay, we're probably going to see just a retreat from that Dreadfleet Navy. It really is the only thing that makes sense for them to do. I wonder if I could come over here and get control of Erengrad. Because it does have a really powerful port. And once we finish this this elf situation, we're probably turning our attention southward. Hexawatl has a gold mine. I know that. There is gold in that there mountain. And maybe with some more traditional Kislev forces, we'll have a better chance against an army that's made up of just like tough Saurus units. Okay, the outpost is building our allies are building an outpost. And the Sisters of Twilight have chosen to bolster their position rather than doing anything aggressive. Damn them for their prudence. Alright, people are gaining traits. So the Temple of Adeoth, pretty easy to get a hold of. The thing that's going to be rough for them about building a second army is that they just lost all of their recruitment buildings. So these are their only settlements in the whole world, and they have the ability from them to recruit Glade Guard, and that's it. Glade Guard and nothing else. So yeah, if we can just deal with the sister army, like they're not going to be able to put together much to oppose us with from here. But you know, these are all concerns that could be discussed next time. I'm looking at the clock and realizing I probably should cut the episode. So that's going to be it for us for today. We got some momentum. It's good. It's an exciting time. It's hard for me to want to stop. But when you come back next time, we will bring this momentum to its terrible conclusion. And then we should probably figure out what it is we're doing next in terms of winning the game. I get very distracted by my little medium-term goals, and I just sort of... Yeah, we'll have a look at which way is forward in a more general sense. And we'll see you then.